Hello and welcome to Tiny Gwen Miniatures. My name is Rachel and today I am going to be making a coffee table for the new attic room that we've just done. So in the previous video showed you how the card seat structure and shelving was made. Today I want to do a coffee table for the middle, so it's not going to be very big. There's not that much space, and I'm going to be making it from this double corrugated cardboard and using a bit of the flooring sheet for the top. I want to do a Bavarian style. I don't know how this is going to work out. It's quite the Bavarian style furniture that I've looked at. It's got a lovely sort of shapes to the side, pieces that come down from the top, and the sometimes there's kind of bits of filigree work, so I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet, but I'm going to have a think. And it's quite chunky, the wood's quite chunky, so I'm going to be using, that's why I'm going to be using this thicker card, maybe with the other card on top. I've got one nice flat side and one side that's kind of ridged. So anyway, we'll see how we go. It's all experimental. Hopefully it works out. See you later. Just quickly, I didn't show you Tiny Gwen's new, very fetching Halloween outfit. This is her this is her pumpkin dress, and I think she looks smashing. So I'm hoping during the Halloween season to be doing maybe a little video, stop motion, just a very short one because they take forever, little stop motion video featuring her new dress, and maybe be nice to do some Halloween decorations maybe in one of the weeks when we do this. So that would be quite nice. This is the newly renovated attic, which Gwen is really enjoying. She sits here and drinks wine from the bottle, it seems. But I'm just going to check the size. So the coffee table is going to be oval. It's going to be, yeah, about that length. Width-wise, probably about just over half that, I think. Yeah, that should do. I'm over happy with it. I think it might be easier to make a template first. Why didn't I do that first? Okay, so sorry about that, folks. Back to the drawing board. Literally, a circle. So what I'm going to do instead is do one side and then double it over. That's probably more sensible. So don't do it the way I did it. Don't do it the way I did it. Do it the way I'm doing it now. Okay. Still doing this end by hand. The thing is, it doesn't really, as long as you've got a semblance of a curve, as long as you've got the same the other side, it'll kind of work. This is my theory. So I'm just going to fold that in half, try and line up the edges as much as I can, and then cut around that and also that way, and it's the right length and the right shape. So that's pretty good. That's just pretty much what I want. Now I can use it as a template, which is going to be a much better way of doing it than my previous effort. So I've not done a table before, so you could have probably all told me I was doing it all wrong in the first place. You're probably watching going, no, it's not going to work. I'm using this thicker card because I want a kind of nice chunky rustic tabletop, and I'm going to use some polyfiller, or spackling I think it's called in America, I think. I'm going to be using that around the edges to get rid of the corrugated look. There we go. I'm just going to try it in the in the house for some. So that's pretty much how it's going to sit. So that's perfect. Right, in terms of height, I don't want this to come up further than the shelving at the back. So I want the window at the back to be free, so that's the focal point. And I want the coffee table to be sitting level with the back shelf that goes under the window. So it doesn't give me a lot of room for the legs, for shaping the legs, because it's only going to be pretty much from my thumb to there. That's very, very short legs. But we shall see how we go. So that's my template. I'm going to use this card again for the legs because it's just a nice thickness. So I've used the measuring card to get the right height. So I think I'm going to have these legs about, how wide should we have them? About 1.5 inches, so I'm going to say 4 centimetres. Right, so I've cut the two end legs, which will be going kind of like that on the piece. I've cut them, and now I've realised that I've measured and I've forgotten that I'm going to need a little plinth on the bottom, so I'm going to have to cut these down slightly. So I'm just thinking the best way to do this, probably I've got a little piece here that I've slightly squashed when I've cut it as well. So I'll take that bit off. There we go. And this bit. Now the polyfiller is going to hide a multitude of sins here. So what I shall do is work out whether I want them this way up or that way up. I think that way is going to be best. So this bit's going to go on the bottom. So I'm going to cut this. I've got this other section here. I'm just going to use this for the bottom. So it's going to be like a chunky piece of wood at the bottom of the legs. I'm just going to give it some stability, hopefully. And then they have to be glued on there. And on there. So let's do that. Right, I'm hoping gravity is going to help me out here and keep these on until this dries. So it's going to be a waiting game again. So I'm just using PVA, lots of it. I'm putting these centrally on the bits that are going to form kind of little feet. Just even that glue out a bit. Okay, so I'm just going to wait for those to dry. I'm going to get myself a cup of tea. A handy hint, use some cling film or a bit of plastic bag just to stop your glue drying while you go off and wait. Right, the legs are still drying, so while I'm still waiting for that, I'm going to be doing getting on with the tabletop. So I'm just using for the top of the table, I'm using the same as I've used for the floor, where I've painted this with acrylic, and I've scored it, and I've drawn in floorboards, but it's going to be perfect for the kind of rustic tabletop. I should probably put a coat of glue over it as well to give it a bit of a sheen, a bit like a wax. Just choose which bit I want. This bit, I think. So this is my lightweight polyfiller. I'm going to be using this just to go around, stick it in the edges so that it doesn't look like cardboard. I want it to look like chunky wood. Got this idea from Abra Bentley, from Bentley House Minis. So credit to her for this idea, because it's fabulous, and I'm using this stuff now for all sorts of things. It's not a quick job, but it's worth doing. So I'm just going to get on now. Sorry if I'm off camera. I'm just going to get on now and put this stuff in the edges with a little, I'm just using a little sculpting tool, and I can be doing that while I'm waiting for the other glue to dry. So I've gone around all the edges with the polyfiller, and also the legs, and they're dry, so I'm just going to go over them with some glue just to seal them, make it nice and strong, and also better for painting. Won't absorb all the paint quite as much. Right, I found these, I bought these corner things from the Miniatura show, and I'm just cutting them down now so that they will fit, hopefully, under the table to add a little bit of interest by the legs. So just using the Stanley knife. There, and that gives a nice dark. Right, it's mostly dry. I've just had a bit of lunch and got myself a big mug of tea. So what I've done now is I've just mixed up some very dry, not very watery paint at all, of a lighter brown colour. So I've mixed brown, a little bit of yellow and white, and I just want to give some more woody effect, so it's a little bit more like that and less dark, but I want to keep the dark in places. So I'm just literally just flicking the brush over. If you let this dry first, it's probably easier, but I do feel that it's slightly wet, so it's going to blend a little bit more. Not too much. I want the wood to look aged, especially at the bottom where it's got some more wear and tear. And I'm just going to do the same. I have just painted the bottom of the table. It does have these cardboard ridges on, but I'm hoping it's not going to notice when it's all put together, because it's the underside. Okay, just let that all dry again. So more drying time. While I'm waiting for all this to dry, I'm just gonna go around here and just take off 1 millimetre around the edge, because I want it to be slightly smaller than the actual table, because it'll be easier than if it's too big. So I've just trimmed it down around the edge, and now I'm just slightly cutting the edges of the timbers so that they don't look quite so neat and tidy. So I'm going to glue the tabletop on now. When I've painted the edges, I've gone further inside here, because as you can see, I've I've cut that slightly smaller now, and I've got these more rough bits cut in, so I needed the dark behind it. So I'm going to glue that on with some PVA. So I'm just going to slather it on. Tabletop piece on. Give that a good press down so all the edges are stark. Move it up a bit. Just going to trim this down slightly. And then I'm going to use a little bit of brown paint. I'm just going to go around the edges just to blend all those edges in, so that just looks like it's a bit of age. Wear and tear around there, and also it doesn't look quite so different from the edge of the table. So I'm going to just blend it. Okay, so I've just gone around the edge. And then that just looks like years and years of people's elbows and different things on the table has made it age and go a little bit darker around the edge. Right, so let's stick the legs on now. This is tricky, I have to guess. I'm trying to find the centre from edge to edge. It's sticking to my finger. Okay, nearest damn it. Right, gonna let that dry. I'm just finishing up with a layer of PVA over the whole thing, which will make it nice and strong and water resistant and give it a little bit of a gloss, like a varnish or a wax. Finished. Fits in there a treat, look. That was a really nice little project. I thoroughly enjoyed making this. I actually want to make lots more furniture now. It's not completely dry, but so I'm being very careful, but I hope you can see the wrought iron effect there. Really happy with that. Looks very chunky and woody. Still bits of patches of glue that aren't quite dry yet, but and there's the top, which looks like polished wood now, so I'm pretty happy with that. That's good. So yeah, I'm hoping to make some more furniture. Next week I want to tackle the windows, so I want to make some curtain poles and some curtains, and I'm hoping to try to have a go at some embroidery, some sort of Alpine style folk embroidery on some curtains. So we'll see how that goes. And I might put some shelves up